Hello, it's Dale here. I know I've talked about all this before, but I got paper, brown paper, and drew on it with crayons and things like that, oil pastels, and then did things with it. But then I decided I would print some of my images onto brown paper. Now the brown paper I'm using, the last time I used very light paper. This is the top of. So this is a big brown paper bag that you might get at the shops that they'll charge you 10 cents for or so. And I've just chopped A4 size off that, but it was just to let you know what sort of brown paper. So it's heavy brown paper, and then I printed onto printed through my inkjet, and that's just some images of my own work I thought I would do, and that's one. And then when it's printed onto the brown paper, you can see the colour changes slightly because you've got the darkness of the brown paper, but that's okay. And I've done a few others. So that's one, and then my printer ran out of ink, so I couldn't do any more. So it's been a little comedy of errors. I can't use the iron or anything today because the power plugs in my studio are not working. So I moved into just showing you this, and I'm going to keep the rest for another day. So what I did was, I've got, this one here. This is a piece of my work. You can see it's darker than it usually is. I think the printer was starting to run out of magenta and has completely. So this is what I printed onto the brown paper. And then I've just taken it like before and I've crumbled it. You need to work it quite well because this paper is quite firm, as you can see. And so you just work away at it till it becomes nice and flimsy and soft, like a piece of fabric, really. And so, and it's got all these wonderful creases in it. So I'll just show you that one there. And then the one that I did was of this one here, which is lighter than that one. So that's that piece. So that's the size. When I've crinkled it, you can see it's not too much smaller. It's almost the same. I've cut them both making both exactly the same size. And then I used distress inks, little ink pads, to rub all over it. You can see the wrinkles, and if Ian can show you, you can sort of see that round part that's like there. There it is at the top. I don't know if it's coming up on the video, but it's that particular one. I'm going to stitch into it later. So I've rubbed it over with some distress inks. You can see the colours here. And I think previously I've used StazOn, but this time I decided to use the distress inks. And then I took like a gilding wax, it doesn't matter what any sort you've got, and rub it over to highlight some of the places. And of course it brings out the colour and so on. And then it's all ready, and then I will bond it and stitch it, and perhaps put something over the top of it, which I'll show you later. So I can't access the iron or any of those sorts of things. It's certainly not my sewing machine at the moment. So then when it's all finished, I'll seal it with acrylic wax so it's easy to be worked on. So that's that little piece, and it's nice and light like a fabric. And I'll take this one and keep working away at it here. Just being careful when you crumble all this up that you don't tear it. That is, unless you want it torn. Of course, the usual thing applies. You can cut and weave it, but I'm going to bond them to felt when the iron's working. And I'll bond it with fusible webbing. So I'll put that down there. It's quite a dark one, this one, as it's turned out. And I'll just take a colour. That's the colour really matters. And just rub over the top. And you can see where it picks up the wrinkles and crinkles there. So this is any piece of work that you've got, so that it's all completely copyright free, of course. And it may not look like you thought it was going to, like this is the piece it's come from, but that's not what art's all about. It's not about replicating exactly what you've done. And the whole bottom line is that when you finish, no one's got a clue what it is that you've done anyway. And then we'll take this one and just highlight with some of these colours, remembering with gilding waxes not to be too heavy-handed, because once you get it on, you can't get it off. Now, contrary to what people will think, you can, when it's all set and that, and if you're going to iron it, be careful because you don't want to lose all those nice crinkly bits and pieces. But you are in fact making a piece of fabric, which you can cut out and use in any other way as usual. So that's that there. And just to reiterate, this is another one of some of our silk stacks. And again, that if you've seen the silk stacks on the website, you'll know they're a lot brighter than this. So it's the brown paper that dulls it down. And just to show you what you do, you take that. I haven't got a front copy of this to match the size up or anything, because this is my first play at this. But just start working it. You can see it's very firm. So just let you see just coming along quietly, and just to break it down. So instead of having to draw on your piece of paper, you can use your own art. So there, I'll do some more work on that, but you can see it's actually changed shape from seeing that it was stacks of fabric. Now it just looks like fabric, so it's starting to change its whole being as well. So therefore, I hope that's given you a few little ideas, and next week when the powders are back on, I'll show you what else I've done with it. So see you later, bye.